What is happening, everyone? My name is Phil with PrecisionLED.com, and this is episode 2 of our Ultimate Off-Road LED Tacoma build series. In the first episode, you saw us put in our low beam headlights, fog lights, all of our interiors. So let's check out what we're doing today over here on the workbench. All right, so we've got a lot of equipment here that we are going to be installing today. So we've got our first setup here. This is a Genesis dual battery assembly for the Tacoma. And we have 2 Optima batteries, a red top and a yellow top, both of them AGM. So the red top is good for cold cranking, and the yellow top is good for auxiliary. So the reason we want to use a dual battery system is to make sure that when we have all of our lights set up, 6, 7, 8 lighting systems, we want all that to draw off the auxiliary battery. And that means when the auxiliary battery goes dead, we don't affect the main battery when we need to start the car up in the morning after a camping trip or a night out. We have here a solenoid that detects the voltage of the system here. So once the auxiliary battery hits, I think 12.4 or 12.8 amps, it automatically cuts off access to the main and prevents the lighting system from draining from the main battery. So that's what this whole setup is for. The last thing we'll be working on is our distribution block. So this is a Blue Sea system distribution block and 100 amp fuse, along with a Overland equipped mounting bracket to house both of these systems. So just like this. And the reason we want this is so all of our switches can come in and get power from this distribution block, and our 100 amp or our main positive terminal will come from this fuse or this switch over to our aux battery. And that way, when we're working on our lighting systems, we can just flick on and off the fuse, and allows us to work on this distribution block without having to worry about electrocuting ourselves. It's also very convenient when everything is nicely lined up like this and organized in the engine bay. So let's pop the hood and get started. Okay. This is our standard battery tray that comes with most Tacomas. I'm gonna release the tray first, unplug our positive and negative lead. We do have some accessory lighting already hooked up. I think this is for the hidden LED light bar, so I need to disconnect this as well. If you're ever doing any work with the battery, wear gloves, but also prepare some tape so that you can cover the terminal lead. And that way, if the terminal makes contact with a metal surface, it doesn't spark on you, right? Yeah. It just has to be temporary. And that way, if it's knocked around, nothing happens. Cool? Ooh, yeah. Oh wow, look at this. Forgot to take the old headlight bulb out when we installed it last time. Don't do this. All right, take this tray out. I do need to pop up these connectors down here. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. All right. And so we're just going to make sure that these don't interfere with the new tray. Okay, this looks about right. We need to make sure that we can still access this engine oil cap when the battery goes in. And I've never opened this, so ow. Ooh. So we just need I found it. Okay. What I'm going to do is place the 2 batteries in here and then make sure that the engine oil filler cap is still removable, and then I can still open up my fuse panel box here. Then I'll mark kind of relative positions for the battery tray, mark my holes, and then drill. So we're using riv nuts to hold this tray down, and I'll explain a little bit more about the riv nuts and how we're going to do that in just a minute. But first, batteries. The orientation of the battery doesn't matter because we're not actually doing the install. So whether the positive or negative lead is forward or backwards, I'm not sure yet. I just need to get these seated in. What was that? This is for a different group. So I think as long as we install this battery first before this one, we won't have too much an issue. And when these are back to back, those caps won't fall out and I'll have to go find that one. That is the placement. So I'm gonna make a marking here to give me some alignment. Okay, battery's out. Okay. The important part here is that we line up our markings here on this side, and then we are going to mark our new mounting holes. All right, see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, and 6 right here. So, all right, so this is a riv nut, and I believe this is a 1/2 inch diameter. So we're going to be drilling 3/8 size hole, or slightly larger. So you're gonna press fit the riv nut into the hole that you make, and then we have a riv nut fastening tool that will secure this to the chassis. Then I have 5/16 bolts that we're going to use to secure them in place. We are going to a step-up multi-bit. One, two, that's 3. There you go. Gotta be very tight on space. Oh, feels pretty sturdy, right?
Feels good.
So, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So that's the first one done. Okay, battery tray in. So let's take a look at this top plate. So we're test fitting the top plate here to make sure we know the orientation of positive and negative for each side of the battery, right? And we have to determine which one's the main and which one is auxiliary. So on here, it tells you right side terminal is main, left side positive terminal is auxiliary. So it's gonna sit this way. Let's put the batteries in. So we'll put in aux first. That's our yellow top. And if you guys recall, these popped off, so I'm going to take them off. All right, so you can see, capped off. All right, let's fit the red top. What was that? Lost one of the plastic pieces. Okay. How about I not drop the battery in this time? Okay, 5-minute break for me to look up the instructions for this thing. So I just had the battery tray upside down. So it actually sits this way. When you look at everything, looks like it'll all line up. Oh yeah, that looks sexy. Alright, now the slightly scary part of connecting our battery terminals. See how both of these are going to have to connect right here? And then obviously this thing goes on top right here, connects the whole system. I'm going to tighten this one so I can get some leverage to untighten that one. Sits on top. The moment of truth is if I try to turn this vehicle on and it works. So let's do that. Awesome! Okay, so our dual battery system is installed, and that means we can now move on to mounting our overland equipped distribution system and hooking that up to our auxiliary battery. The one thing I have to do, however, is I have to move this reservoir. So I might have to riv nut 2 points back here and pull this thing all the way back. I'm going to remove this for now and figure out where that placement's going to go and grab the bracket and see if I can test fit a good solution right now. Alright, so this potentially will go maybe right here. Okay, so this distribution block and this 100 amp switch, or this 100 amp breaker, all need to be wired. So we have number 4 gauge cable for, I guess typically for battery connections that we're going to use for this. And we're going to go positive to the battery, the other side of this positive to here to power the block, and then a negative that is going to lead back to a point on our chassis for ground. Temporarily, I just need to zip tie this together. So we're gonna go from positive here to positive here. Okay. I got a variety of terminals with different size openings. We're going to be using the ones that are 4 and 5/16. That'll fit on nicely here. Heat shrink tubing on first. Like I said, the first connection from the distribution block to our terminal here. See how that fits? That works. So our block has power. We're gonna take it over and measure how much we need for the positive lead to the battery, the aux battery, and the negative lead to the chassis. Our approximate placement is about here. The closest terminal for negative is here. That means we are going to run cable from here, running along underneath to here. So we'll give a little extra. Now our positive is going to come from here. So we could have it come along this way. Yeah, let's do that. So about from here to here. We'll give it a little extra just in case. Now we know we just need to get terminals on these two cables and hook them up. So strong.
Okay, I'm gonna do the next one.
You want to?
Yeah. I want to do that too.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing?
Of course. It's easy.
Do that and use this one. What?
Did I use the wrong one?
Yes, you did.
Did I use one of those for the negative?
It's not a question anymore. We will use that one for the negative and make it work.
Doesn't clamp down tight enough. Oh my god. No. Am I gonna break this?
Let's see. Potentially.
Couple more hammer hits. Yeah, easy. This one's good.
Once this thing is seated down where it's supposed to be, you'll have just enough clearance here to attach your negative lead and take it over the chassis. So, first things first, we have to attach our positive cable here. This wire comes and attaches right here. Now we have our negative terminal. We have one side connecting to the terminal here. So there's a bolt that we need to loosen down there that we then slide this bracket into and then tighten back up. So again, we're going to slide that bolt through here. We have two mounting points here and here. This distribution block will be ready to go. Goes underneath the plate. You'll see in a minute. So the instructions made sure to mention that you don't want to be in contact with this. I think this is the brake sensor wire. That is very close though. And I'm a dummy and I pre-placed all these for no reason. So I gotta take them out with this bolt in. And this would just be counting. These are the positives and these are the negatives. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 slots for power. And we're gonna use at least 8 of them. We add a winch, that's 1. We add a compressor, that's 2. Maybe we add some auxiliary like a power inverter. That might be number 4. So you'll hit 12 pretty quickly before you know it.
Bro, you skip 3, you know.
Okay, and then we just need to tighten this back up. Stop. All right. So the first test of this distribution block is going to be the old wiring of our front mounted hidden bumper light. So I'm gonna have to cut these and put new leads on them. So let's do that first. The old leads.
You don't need this?
Nope. So these are positives.
Are those up there negative?
Yep.
And bottom's a positive?
Yep. So, if we know what we're doing, when I flip this on, I should be able to activate our hidden bumper light. Oh, but I need a fuse in here. Okay, 30 amps. Going in, put the cover plate on. Oh, it just fits on top of that. On. Let's see if it works. Nice. Okay, like I said, the light bar in here is kind of crap. We'll get around to replacing it with something better quality later. I think that's all for tonight. This actually took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but got the dual batteries in, the solenoid works, we got our aux battery, we've got our main, we have all the wiring hooked up to our distribution system with a 100 amp breaker from Overland Engineering, and everything works. So we'll drive around like this for a couple days, and then we'll get that SDHQ and Switch Pro system into the dash to control all the lights and prepare us for the next video. If you like what you see, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. It really helps us out and motivates us to make the next episode and come up with newer and better content for your entertainment. Appreciate the support.
All right, you can do better than that. Try it again. But like, you sound less sad.
Okay, all right. All right.
No, we're good. I mean, that's fine.
Oh,
I just
that's
messed
fine?
with you. All right, we're good.
Okay.
Let me take some glamour shots. Get out of the way.